Welcome everyone to the Community Grants Committee meeting this Wednesday, the 29th of April 2026. And I open by asking everyone to stand for council prayer. Almighty God, as members of the Rangitikei District Council, we give thanks for all the good things of our district and the advantages we enjoy. We pray that you will give us wisdom and guidance as we conduct the affairs of this meeting. We pray for all the communities and the district we represent. Help us to be fair and honest in our discussions, and help us to work together in unity for the welfare of all your people. Amen. Next, I would like to call for any apologies. None received. Still have to do slides. No, okay. And we've not received any public forum today. Next item is conflict of interest declarations. Thank you, Councillor Charland.
I put one in, but I declared because I'm on the committee of the Bulls 150th.
Thank you. Thank you for that declaration. So at this juncture, I'm very happy for you to stay in the room and answer any questions if required, but please leave it at that.
Yep.
Thank you. No changes to the confirmation of order of business, I believe. So then we move to item number 6, reports for decision. And the first item there is that I'm happy to move that the report Community Initiatives Fund consideration of applications for round 2 of the 25-26 be received. Councillor Charland's happy to second that. Is there any more conversation around that? No. Then we move to recommendation.
We just voted on it.
Oh, beg your pardon, sorry. All those in favour? Against? Carried. So next we've got the Community Grants Committee's list of projects as provided and to be dispersed to the Community Initiatives Fund. So let's go in our normal manner and we'll just bring up the Smarty Grants applications and discuss those as we go through. So the first one in front of us today is the Friends of Taihape application.
Madam Chair, I wonder whether or not we just pass over to Kezia briefly to introduce the report.
Thank you, Kezia. That would be really helpful.
Thank you, Councillor Dalgety. So I guess one of the first things that would be great from this committee to indicate is if you'd like to go for an average or a median amount as we go through these. It would just be quite beneficial and to have that now and before we go through the applications. Our last meeting was a median, and prior to that was averages.
Do you have any thoughts around this?
In the spreadsheet, I've done both as an option. However, I do understand from the committee that certain members might have a preference.
Thank you, Councillor Wong.
I think I'm the one who suggested medians in the last term, as median is not influenced by any outliers, any significant outliers. So if it gives a true indication of the majority of the members of the committee rather than being influenced. So if we have 3 at say $1,000 and one puts $10,000 in it, it would remain at the majority put it at. Whereas if it was the or vice versa, it would be influenced by the outlier. So not that that person doesn't get a view, but it's just that it's weighted towards the majority of the people of the committee members rather than that's my opinion. As I see the differences are that great, so it's not a black and white thing. I wouldn't.
Any other comments around this? Yeah. Lucia?
I concur. With the councillor Wong, that I think there are a couple of extra stages. One is a rounding up stage, and two, when and if there are funds left over, we get the opportunity to revisit. Because you go through, for instance, sites around affordability, but if the funds are all sitting there and council wishes to consider something, then the excess funds are redistributed, that's fine. And I'd also just ask us to consider the risk of failure, so that if you fund something and the amount of money that you're putting into it is short of what is physically required to do the event, consider that as well. That's the whole principle of funding for failure in essence. Sorry,
Okay.
that was a very wordy explanation, I'm sorry.
Well, let's tackle the median aspect first. Are you happy to put a recommendation around that, councillor Wong, or someone?
Yes, I would put a recommendation. Do you want me to word it?
Yes, thank you.
Indulge me.
Yeah,
Is your
writing furiously.
The committee consider that the median value reached from panel members should be used.
Take your reader.
I wonder, Madam Chair, through you, based on His Worship's comments, that we add in at the end that the median value from the assessments be used as the base point for consideration of funding, and then that allows you to redistribute if you've got extra funding, or round up or something like that. It gives you a little bit more leeway.
Okay.
I'm happy to second the motion that you put in there with regard to that.
All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. So the other points you made, do you just want them to be noted, or how would you like to handle those?
I think we look at that at the end of the
the-
round.
Okay, thank you. So back to you, Kezia.
If you're happy, as we go through each application, if there's anything that arises, we can answer questions then. Otherwise, there was quite a substantial amount of funding for round 2 of Community Initiatives Fund due to the carry forward from last financial year.
The only thing, Madam Chairman, through you, that I'd suggest you consider is there may be events that, or funding that a number of the panel feel should not happen. So there should be the opportunity for committee to say that this event should not be funded.
Yes, I think that's a given. And that is the responsibility of each councillor involved, yeah. If they choose, if they believe it shouldn't be funded, then there'll be a zero allocation to it. Is everyone in agreement with that? Yeah.
The only problem with that, Madam
Yeah.
Chair, is if one person says it should be funded and puts a sum in there, then you actually have it funded. But my view is
I see.
that if there are 5 panelists and 4 says it shouldn't be funded, then it shouldn't be funded.
Councillor Wong.
If it was a median is used, which is what it is, then the median will be 0.
Yeah.
As opposed to the median.
Yeah, good point.
So that covers that. But no, it's good to clarify that point, because that is why I thought it is more representative of the majority of the committee rather than being influenced by one outlying, one or two, or a smaller number of outlying.
So, given that discussion and given that, we have someone who believes in this situation, it shouldn't be supported, would anyone like to speak to why we shouldn't support this, this assessment that's in front of us at the moment? Anyone wanting to talk to that beyond what they've written in their comments? No. Councillor Wong.
Can I speak to as why I would support it?
Yes, thank you.
I obviously respect everybody's view on the committee, but this project that this is happening in Taihape is a very large, significant park that is in addition an asset to Taihape that has come at very little cost to council. It has all been done by grants through the Better Off funding from last time and voluntary help and other fundraising. So we have got a part which has been added to the assets of the community, owned by the council, or looked after by the council. It has come at very, very little cost. And so for any contribution the council can do to it is totally appreciated by the charitable trust, by the Friends of Taihape Trust. But I think we are getting really, really good value for money for this asset that Taihape. Speaking from Taihape, but as it's Taihape's vision of your of Martin's walks around the Tutanui Reserve, which also has come from a lot of voluntary help and stuff. Without this other funding and voluntary help, it would never have happened. Council could never have funded it.
I absolutely concur with what Councillor Wong said, and I think it is an outstanding project and an example of what a fully functioning community can achieve, and I think it will become an attraction to Taihape in itself, and to be able to record behind that journey and people are looking is quite vital. In that note, I would like to increase my recommendation to $10,000. Would anyone else like to talk to this?
It's absolutely stunning project. I absolutely agree with Councillor Wong. That's twice in one day. The volunteer effort that has gone into this has been phenomenal, and they have done it largely without ratepayer assistance.
Councillor Wong.
Can I just gild the lily by adding that not only is it a asset to the northern ward of Rangitikei, combined with the walks at Martin, it is putting Rangitikei on the map as a place to go to for walks, so you can be sport for choice. And the Mangaweka community is looking at doing something similar, but they're on a smaller scale and having any funding. But the local businesses there would love to have something significant, so people can who come there and go, look at the choices we've got, bringing mountain bikes and also doing other tourist attractions like whitewater rafting, biking, and many things. So I think this is a very good project right across to the Rangitikei as well as just for the Taihape area.
Hey. So
Madam Chair, I'm not on there because I went to go into it and I started it and then it denied access and then I couldn't get into it.
So
Tried
is it just for this application or right?
You know,
through?
just for this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got some comments there from you and the recommendation. Are you happy with those comments and the amount, or would you like to change it?
All of my comments, I don't think I put anything in them.
The
Yes.
cost of signs seems excessive.
Yeah.
Where's the other funding of? There's not coming from.
30,000.
And are there signs account to responsibility?
No, that's not
You must have been able to open this because your comments are there. and you've made active decisions within it.
Is why he's questioning those comments.
There's no other way that you can make input into this
No,
without.
because I went to go back on it and I couldn't get into it, so I couldn't do anything, so I felt as though I hadn't even done it, because when it came up again,
So happy for you to amend anything here? Do you, or
Yeah,
at least your recommendation? Would you
I'm
want to
happy.
talk to it?
happy to go with the recommendation, because it does sound really good, so I don't know what happened.
So what would you like to change your amount to? At this meeting, we are able to change our amount, you know, having listened to the discussion. It's up to everyone has the option to change the amount.
I'm happy to go with councillor Wong's recommendation.
$10,000.
Thank you, councillor Shaw.
Thank you. Okay, so there we are. We've got the median there.
Cost of change.
Right.
I'm just wondering if he wants his comments removed, if he doesn't feel like he actually made those comments.
Yes, I think we should remove your comments.
Yeah,
comments that are-
definitely.
Please, if that's okay. Thank you. And then we'll change it to recommended, not recommended as well. Okay, so we can move on to the next one, which is the Brain Injury Association Wanganui, the Rangitikei division. Would anyone like to make any comments on that?
Yes,
Mhm.
Madam Chair, they are very active, as I've said. And my concern was literally looking at the budgets that we had available, thinking, and they were very early in my assessment. It looks as though we may have sufficient money to be able to fund a little bit higher, so I'd be prepared to raise my figure to 2,000.
Thank you. Any other comments or changes? Kezia, just that, and therefore we'll accept the medium as recorded there, please.
That's right, councillor Moore.
It's fine. I could speak another 10 minutes if you want. That's fine.
The next assessment is from the People First New Zealand Incorporated. Similar system. Does anyone want to talk to this at this stage?
Yes, I will. I really want to hear from the other panelists around this, because when I looked at it, it seemed to be as though I didn't quite understand who will be attending. And the question was also over the venue was listed, seemed to be listed as being in the Manawatu.
Mm.
And perhaps somebody can give me some guidance here.
Do you have does anyone have any idea about this group? Yeah, the invoice they sent was for the Coach House in Fielding as their venue hire. Yeah, does anyone have any background?
I do not have any background on the group.
Right.
We don't exclude necessarily if the venue for an initiative is in a different area.
Sure, no, but it's
but I-
food.
Do not know anything further other than what was in their application.
Okay. Okay, so given that, is everyone happy with the recommendations?
Could I comment?
Yeah.
I did believe there were recipients of their service in the Rangitikei
20, I believe.
right across, and have they filed a return from their last time I didn't see one. Did they apply for funding?
They haven't applied for funding before.
Okay, I see.
No.
But yeah, it's a huge, there's $3 million of funding across the organisation per year. So but the fact that they did do something for the Rangitikei, and there was a number of people that, and these are people that are the least advantaged in, whatever their support to people. Hence why I recommended a lower amount, but That's
Okay.
like a first worship. I wanted to know why I put somebody who wasn't.
Yeah, so obviously they are active in the Rangituki. But a couple of things that I noted and have noted there is, for instance, much bigger councils were only putting in $1,000 or $2,000. Wellington, I think, was $2,000. So as we've mentioned, we're getting significant MSD funding in Dudding's trust funding in 2024. So that was why I didn't recommend the full amount.
Madam Chair, how do we know that they're benefacting people within our district?
I believe I must read that.
So like, do we?
Supported, oh, sorry, beg your pardon. Yeah, they must have stated 20.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
if that is the case, I'd move to my recommendation that to recommended rather than not recommended. That was what I was looking for, and I didn't see it in the application. I read it as, we have sort of 20 spaces available rather than we are benefacting people.
Yeah, I can read the
Yeah,
target.
please.
It says at least 20 disabled people from the Rangituki district take part in the workshops.
So that could
It could
take part in the
either way.
workshop, which is the way that I read it.
Right.
So what I was looking for is a process whereby people from our district will be approached. So I didn't read it as that they have received benefit. I think it's a worthy cause, but I think it was a fair question to be asking.
So given that discussion, is everyone happy with the recommendations?
So I would need to, if I'm saying it's recommended, I'd need to put a figure in and I put it in at $1,000.
You happy, Councillor Shannon?
I'm just trying to
Are you-
formulate it, but I was of the same concern as the mayor about it not being based in Rangituki. So is mine 2,000 or 1,000?
2,000.
Can I reduce that to one?
Well, we will look forward to their report based on that median $1,000.
Madam Chair, I'm just confirming that all those applications as well are in Big Tin Can if you need to refer back to them as we go through today.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So moving to the Tahepi Neighbourhood Support. Again, a range of recommendations there. Would anyone like to speak to their thoughts?
Before I raise a conflict of interest, I am a member of the organisation, even though, so I don't know if you want to exclude me or not. I don't feel, I'm not, I don't run the organisation, I am just part of to
Remember?
to provide information to other community members.
So is that
I don't
member?
feel I have a conflict of interest, but I'm
Right.
just making known that I am
So understand, thank you for that declaration. Are you, I believe it's a subscription model, is it? Is it not?
it is, yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, that's fine. I'm very happy for you to stay in the room and, but you had, we will remove your recommendation as to amount.
Madam Chair, can I question that?
Okay. Yeah.
Because, for instance, as councils, we make decisions on rates.
Yeah,
We are all effectively ratepayers.
right.
We make decisions on organisations like Federated Farmers, where a number of us will be aligned to organisations.
Yeah,
But where, if the council was sitting on the board that puts in applications or the active community, the funding group
yeah,
of that is a different matter. In exactly the same way, if there's a Huntable Shamozzle, if you just happen to be there and be part of, etc., that's just part of being a community. And I feel quite comfortable that the council is entitled to have a view with regard to this one.
Okay, councillor Charlotte, are you happy for councillor Wong to remain with
Yeah,
voting rights?
Yep.
I'm happy to go with that too then. Awesome. So, there we have the recommendations in front of us. Does anyone want to make any comments or changes?
Madam Chair, I'm quite happy with mine because I was a member of the Bulls one and we were always trying to get money to keep us going. On quiz or something like that, because it is a very worthwhile round the clock when it's operated properly.
My perspective, the Tai Happy emergency response plan, their lists of people, I think, is outstanding, and I'm excited to see it try to be been expanded to Mangaweka. My reading between the lines was that they're looking to revitalise this organisation in Tai Happy, I guess, as personnel on these committees change, there's sometimes a different emphasis. So I was keen to support this to the foot to 2,500. Plus they are involved with managing the local food bank, a vital resource in this challenging time.
How much is requested?
3,500. 3,500.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, I'm happy to raise mine to 2,000.
So that median is there. That's
No
yeah.
change.
Okay, thank you. Got it. So we'll go with the median recommended amount there, 2,250. Moving on to the Bulls and District Community Trust. I just had some questions which I sent through to staff around this. Can you just enlighten me, please? No, this Bulls Hip Hop is a new event, isn't it? It's been run for 1 year.
Yeah.
And likely to go forward. What I'm trying to establish is why can't we have these things as part of the MOU?
Through you, Madam Chair, if council wanted to consider it through the MOU, we could look at the MOU and do a review on that. I would note that the Bulls and District Community Trust have put in a submission to our annual plan that it doesn't include this project.
Right.
My suggestion would potentially be that would be most effective during our LTP development.
Right.
That council may wish to do it for this upcoming financial year that we're going to go into. The only comment I would have in relation to this is around timing of this project delivery versus timing of the MOU review.
Sure, so we've got to take this in front of us for now. Yeah, but I just wonder about the efficiency of a MOU being negotiated and then them having to apply every year for repeated funding, and that was just what was going through my mind. Yeah. But back to this application that's in front of us for the Bulls Hip Hop. It's an attraction for youth in the district, and it's in the any comments or adjustments wanted to be made to that? Councillor Wong.
I like the project. My criticism of a lot of these applications is that there is not a large effort in seeking alternative fundraising, whether they just make cakes or things, which is actually part of our application form. So I tend to reward by awarding higher funding if they show better signs of more effort in alternative fundraising. But it seems why I've limited mine, but that's just a comment I've got across the board.
So the trust in its whole right actually applies to a lot of outside funds,
Right.
and it is successful and has got significant reserves.
Yes.
Was my understanding.
But for this project, it was only applied to us.
For sure.
So the hip hop community trust, but hip hop people, I feel, should have moved in their own circles and tried to get funding as well on top of the community trust getting funding. That's my belief. Hence why I didn't recommend the full amount.
Okay. Any other comments?
Yeah, I support it because I see that the community trust rules and really good rules they mark and all sorts. So I think it's a very worthwhile project.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I support, but I think somewhere along the line, people have to value what they receive. And I'm certainly saying, I think, for instance, a gold coin donation or something like that is appropriate. So, elsewhere around the country, if you want to learn to dance, or whether it's hip hop or any other thing, if you go to Thai Happy, you can go to dance lessons, etc. And it costs you. And yes, it's run by private organisations, but it's recognising that what they're taking part in has some sort of value, and whether it's by way of koha or the recognised gold coin or whatever, I think that should be valued in that way.
So would you suggest that staff take that feedback?
Well, that's my personal feedback,
Yeah.
but
I
that may not be the
guess
committee's feedback.
their intent would be that cost isn't a barrier.
Yeah, absolutely, and
If you could just pass on that the committee made these comments, please. Thank you. Okay, so we've got a medium recommended amount there, 2,000. Any other changes? So we'll take that through, please. Forest and Bird, Rangitikei Forest and Bird are also looking to update their signs. Albeit a lot more cost effectively than the alternative, than another application we've received this morning. Anyone want to comment or change anything there, please?
Look, I'll be brave here. I'd say fully fund. I tend to agree with you, Madam Chair. Huge voluntary commitment in this space. And they have had to go back to a number of their reserves and repurpose them and cut new tracks, etc. We've been hit by incredible cyclones damage.
Yeah.
And if you look at what we've had to do in our own parks and reserves, we have paid out very large sums of money. They've been faced with it exactly on fallen trees, etc. So just fund it.
Other councillors, any comments? Yes.
Yes, I take the His Worship's view, and so I think as before that some of these projects may not go ahead if they're not funded, because so for the difference I've already made, I think I would up mine to the 899.30.
989.30. Yeah. Is it quite good to see up there?
Actually, it's quite hard to read from here.
You have happy, councillor Charlotte?
Yep.
Thank you. So that medium. Okay. Thank you. So the committee decision is the full amount of 989.30, beg your pardon. Next, it's the St Margaret's, which is the Anglican Church in Taihape, a mobile art expo. Any thoughts or comments?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I
Around
want
this.
further explanation around this because it says that this is a fundraiser for another organisation. And I would have preferred that the other organisation had applied to funds directly. And are we able to provide for food and drinks, which is the question through to Kezia? Because I thought that was outside of what we could fund and not fund.
We have funded food and drinks previously.
Okay. On that basis, I've changed my recommendation to recommended and maybe $1,000 to be a meeting.
Any other councillor comment? Thoughts, changes? Okay, then the medians come to 1,000, so we'll recommend it $1,000, please. Bulls Roy Library, long time. RDC have supported them for, I believe, as long as I've been in council. A very worthy and established organisation that was well thought of and supported in our communities, both art and balls. So, anyone got any comments or changes like to make there?
The way that I read their budget is that they have a positive affected budget. And what I did note in their budget, it didn't seem to be allowing for purchase of toys.
I can comment on that. So they're only applying for the hall rent, not for toy purchases.
But the budget that they had put in was it left them with the surplus.
I've got it up so I can confirm, your worship. It's got a surplus of $4,000. Their expenses for toys are $2,546.
So my question is, if they've got a surplus within that budget that they've applied for, do they actually need it?
Can someone remind me which hall they hiring? It's a Hall and Balls, isn't it?
It's a new one here by the church. They've shifted to it from where they're in the main street now, they're up on State Highway 3 by the Anglican Church.
Ah, thank you. Are everyone happy with their recommended amount? Yeah. The median comes out at 1,920, and that'll be the committee's decision. A new application for the Jandals Band Festival, which is to encourage youth to come and be part of this festival at Te Matapihi. Despite being the Gumboots Brass and Wind Ensemble, I assume is Taihape based. Any comments, thoughts?
I just struggle with this one, thinking it's a bit of a risk, but if it goes, it's good. If it doesn't, that's the only other problem. That was my first thoughts on it.
Sorry, Madam Chair, I don't think this is the first time.
Oh, beg your pardon.
This has been held, I'm sure this has been held before.
This this applicant has put in applications before. It has been successful in Taihape. This will be the first time in Bulls, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So certainly from my perspective, my recommendation just covers the Te Mata Piki venue hire. Mm. Any other thoughts, comments? No.
Well, on that basis, I can remove, increase mine to $1,000.
Oh. Okay, so then the recommended amount, please, is 1,060 and 60. Well, we're rounding these up. Well, we're rounding them to the closest, so 1,060. Sorry, have any others been? Not a round figure.
Or a single, but that was.
Oh, yes, okay, yeah, thank you. So Sports Whanganui, I believe they have hosted this before, a duathlon series. Very lucky to have Libby Rayner, who lives locally, is our representative over here, and I believe Kim is involved in making all this happen, and it's pretty exciting to see the RDC bikes are used, and I can imagine for some people it's a lot of fun. Maybe not for some people as well, I'm not sure. But yeah, I was very excited to read this. And was happy to support to the full amount. Any other comments or thoughts from other councillors?
If we had money at the end of this round, that I'd done this one quite 100 as at the moment in the divvy end.
Thank you. Okay, so at the moment that is sitting at $1,500. So the last application for the community for this trust, for this grant round is from Taihape and District Museum and Historical Society. And we are all thinking much the same, except for Councillor Sharland. So you got any thoughts that you'd like to influence us with?
The only thing I found there was that they were looking for outside funding, it yet to be confirmed, so it concerned me a little bit.
Okay. So despite that, they have been in they've been operating for a long time, and what they're looking to do is to promote themselves both to locals and outsiders. So yeah, there's no further comments. The medium amount still stays at 700, so I'm happy that the committee decision is $700. So we'll just give staff a little bit of time to add all that up. I know we were thinking of going back to the possibility of the Whanganui Sport Whanganui.
So the current spend is $24,669.30.
How much is it?
We'll just do the math on minus part.
Just a
Okay,
quick maths for
29.
you. You've got a surplus of 4,388.17, if that matches the maths Casey is about to do as well.
So therefore we can go back to the duathlon, and I guess it's asking your worship if you are wanting to increase your recommendation or not.
Yes, certainly. I would look to fully, for my vote would be to fully fund that.
That's
I will amend mine to the same.
Madam Chair, I think there were a couple of others that were very close to fully funding, like $200 or $300
Right.
away.
Let's
And
go through them
may-
quickly then. Okay. So there is, so they're asking for 2,500 and we, left it at 2,250.
What was the band one?
The Jandals Band Festival, they're asking for 1,297. Allocated 1,060.
What's the difference?
230.
I've owned $200 or whatever it is, a bit under that. I would fully fund.
What's everyone happy to include it to the requested amount, 1,290? Thank you. Anyone else has got any other changes they'd like us to consider? I think we can leave it at that then. Thank you. Oh, that's the wrong, beg your pardon.
Do we want to talk about the extra fund money we got left over?
Yes.
Now, or do you want to do it at the end of the day when we've got to both?
I can probably comment a little bit on that. So I think it'd be preferable to do both the event sports scheme and community initiative funds at the same time. So just that it's consistent, that they're on the
Right.
same.
Okay, thank you. So we'll discuss that before the end of the meeting. Thank you, Councillor Wong.
If we do mind, I just have 30 seconds to make the resolution.
Thank you, Kezia.
So the total funds will be $25,340.30.
And, so recommendation 4 is talking about what happens. We're going to decide those together at the end.
I think that would be a great approach,
No
just
problem.
to be consistent. If we do have leftover funds for the event support scheme, to do the same.
Okay. So next we'll move to recommendation. Or do we have to move that these be part? So I'd like to move that funds totaling $25,340 $2,000.30 be allocated as provided for there. So a seconder for that, please. Thank you, councillor Sharlin. All those in favour?
Right.
Against? Carried. And next we move to recommendation 3, that the Community Initiatives Fund project report forms, as you've seen on LinkedIn, can have that be received. We'll move in a seconder, please.
Happy to move.
Your Worship, seconded councillor Wong. Any discussion? All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Recommendation 4 we'll leave till later in the meeting as we shift to item 6.2, which is the other scheme we're talking about this afternoon, the Events Support Scheme. Consideration of applicants for round 2, 25-26. I'm happy to move that the event support scheme considerations of applications for round 2 be received. Open the please. Thank you, councillor Wong. All those in favour?
Aye.
Carried. So, this is my first question to staff really is a disappointing number of applicants here. Are there any thoughts of why that might be or what we can do to encourage this more fuller? In my time in council, I don't believe we've ever only received 3 to 4 or 2 to 4 applications. So for me, that was a concern. Yeah. Thank you.
On
Thank
that, so I know some events have applied before and haven't got a lot of funding. So they have seen that it hasn't been worthwhile applying because it's been cut down quite a bit.
From 50 to 25.
So
Yeah.
many applicants.
Yeah.
And they haven't always obviously got what they are needing for the event, so are looking elsewhere as well. We're also supporting some events in other ways in kind as well, and we're not doing both, so we're not funding them and supporting in kind.
Right.
So
Have any of the councillors got any thoughts? Sorry, Kezia.
Sorry. Apologies. Round 2, we do get less applications. So for
Right.
example, last financial year, we only received 3 in round
Okay.
2. The year before that was 4 as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's.
And I'll just make a comment too. We had a lot of people coming straight to me for waivers.
Yes.
And so what we're trying to say now is when we actually think something qualifies for one of these grants, saying, we will give you X amount of waiver this time, but we encourage you to apply through this sort of mechanism for the in future. So we are trying to actually get that message out there as well, that, it will be better if they actually applied this way than for a fee waiver.
And I accept what Kim's saying, that when you get either a no or a not what you want, that becomes a blight that's hard to get over. Rather than people seeing it as a no, hey, but better luck next time. Which is how I would recommend organisations do treat it, because we don't know who's going to have their hand up each time. So your chances are a fine thing. Have any of the councillors got any thoughts around this?
I just wondered, does a lot of people actually know these funds even exist?
So I assume it gets full.
Yes,
And when Kim came on board, she did a very smart, and you would have seen the publication promoting it. You know, it's easy to understand and, yeah.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, I'll often put a comment out in MES reports and things like that to say that these are open
Yeah, right,
now,
yeah.
same as the Dunning Trust, etc. So, you can lead a horse, etc.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's the one.
Councillor Charlotte, in our roles as councillor, I actually provide it to people who talk to me about. So the community board in Taipei also promotes it, so. Not only
And
that.
it's in your community, committee papers and community board every month, yeah.
However, as Kizzy has pointed out, it's not as, it's set round two is historically not as good, so I guess let's take that as it is.
Thank you.
So the first,
Sorry,
Sorry.
but perhaps what we could do in round one is reflect on that, and because people tend to think round one will give out half the money, and maybe round one we start to say, well, history tells us
right,
that this is what happens.
okay.
Just another comment.
Yes.
Chair, is I think another thing that happens is it's seasonal. So a lot of events are run in that summertime after round one. So that's why we get so many in round one.
Yeah.
And then now we're going into the winter.
Right,
spring months.
for sure.
That's when the events.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the first one in front of us is Rangitiki Netball, then Net Fit project, which as has been explained to us, this is an event that'll be run in April 2027. So yeah, any thoughts or comments around that? Asking for $2,000.
I like this model, and this model, we had it running in Taihape. People contribute to the cost. On that basis, I move that we fully fund the 2,000.
Any other thoughts or comments?
I will increase my recommended to, what am I, what was I before?
1,500.
To 2,000. Yeah, I also like the fact that it's
And it
yeah,
felt from my reading of the application that Taihape and Martin were working quite closely together around the whole event. So therefore, we approve that the $2,000 asked for. So now an application for a long-standing event, a very popular wearable arts. And yeah, any thoughts around this, councillors?
I attended the first year and I thought it was not that fresh, but I believe last year was so much better. I couldn't go, unfortunately, but
I probably attended, I want to say 10 years ago, and it was outstanding. If you had a child that was interested in working with blue paper or something, it is extraordinary what they can come up with. So, looking at those recommendations, I feel that I'm happy to go with the majority at 3,000. I'd like to increase mine, please. Nice. So no other comments, then we will go with the committee decision of $3,000, please. Bulls Junior Rugby Club, once again, a very successful tournament in the past, and undoubtedly puts that rugby club down Bulls on the map for a lot of little people. Yeah. Again, was I getting late in the night? I'm happy to increase mine to $3,000. Any other thoughts, comments?
I've attended both of them and it's just an amazing day. You can't even get a car park in Bulls
Right.
on the day that it's on. It's so many people come. It's a really good day.
So unanimous decision, $3,000 there. Thank you.
I did include the assessments of the
Sure.
other event, if you would like to go through that. in
Yeah.
that Session.
So hopefully you received my email. So this event has been, so we wouldn't normally consider event retrospectively, but I'm happy for us as a committee to consider whether we consider it or not. So yeah, I'm interested in anyone's views. Obviously, Councillor Sharland is conflicted, but happy to answer any questions, I assume. Perhaps if you would like to enlighten us on how the event actually went.
Well, yeah, it was an amazing event. I think there's about 600 people. We started on the Friday, went right through to the Sunday. They had the parliamentarian team there, and they came up, and even before the evening meal, a lot of them just didn't want to go home. They just said, "This is the type of event we want to go to," and yeah, it was just a great day. Absolutely great day. Weather was fine. The ground was a bit hard. That was the only problem, but other than that, it was well attended. I think we seated 176 for dinner that night. So, and
176.
I think it was 176
Yeah.
seated. And Hamish Mackay was the MC. So yeah, it was a good event. Dr. Dave, and the event was because the parliamentarian team only go to support events like that. And it was Dave's Healthy Bastards thing that a lot of was all about. So they were more than happy to support it. So yeah, it was very good event, and we got a lot of feedback. So
Councillor Wong.
Why not recommended it was because of the not meeting the requirements is in funding retrospect. So I'd like to know why the other committee members how they justified that this wasn't not being part of the requirements. On what grounds they decided that it was to be. I mean, I'm not saying that I shouldn't, but I'm just asking. I'm curious as to what reason we're using to fund something that otherwise wouldn't fit the requirements of the application.
Your worship.
No, you go first, you are.
So effectively, as I understand it, and staff will correct me if this is wrong, the application went in before the event. So effectively the event was while the applications were in. In my mind, it was showcasing Bulls, and I'd heard and seen in the newspapers, etc., that it was a particularly successful event, and it's a one-off for their huge milestone of 150 years. And so on those grounds, I was happy to at least help with the cover of the marquee hire. Your worship.
My comments that are listed there saying presumably this application was lodged prior to the date to be able to accept it, because if it had been lodged afterwards, the answer would have been, for me, definitely not eligible for funding. I guess the question is did they know that the event was going to be had before, was there an advertised closing decision type making timeframe?
There was an advertised closing date and it is very clear in the guidelines. And the applicant has put in applications previously as well, so I was aware of the process.
Yeah, but as part of that notification, was it clearly defined when we'd be making our decisions?
Yes, it's on our council website.
Yeah. I'd still say that, but to me, it's a little bit of a borderline one, but I'd probably accept it. And effectively, that's what I've done by recommending. But I accept the concern.
Stephen, you got anything you'd like to add to this conversation?
No. I guess this is an unusual one. Usually in the process of doing the applications, I do make a genuine effort to figure out a different option. And in this case, this event is a one-off event. The date had already passed and there were no council meetings leading up to the event when the application was lodged. So there were really no other options, and that this was an opportunity to be transparent about this process.
Yes, the chairperson's call.
Yeah, and I think there is discretion built into the guidelines for the committees, isn't there?
So nothing that's been said at this table makes me change my mind. I'm happy with what I've recommended there, and my reasoning is already discussed. Does anyone else want to change anything?
I won't change what my thing. I have accepted your argument, and I accepted that with the median, I will my contribution will not change that and I'm happy with that. But I totally take on board what Kezia said. When the applicants take these, they know when the acceptance state is, and this should have been. But if as committee has, as I believe, as our chief executive said, we do have the right to discuss it, and I accept your decision. And
Okay, so that being said, the committee decision is the median amount of $5,000.
I'd make a suggestion to staff that when there are specific events that we are funding and so on, could they be added to councillor diaries automatically to say that this event is running? It's not saying that they should have to attend, but it's a notification only. So that, for instance, if you have the rugby funded Oxford Bulls, that councillors know that it's highlighted to them that that's when it's happening.
Right.
I'll have to have a look into it and get back to you in terms of the admin around that. Happy to take that on board to have a think about how that would work in practice.
Yeah. Can I just make a comment on that? There is the events calendar.
Yeah.
You will hear of that.
But often it doesn't come up routinely in your diaries. And occasionally, I mean, I try and look at the event calendar, I try and look at the trust reports, etc., and try and map out where I should be. But some of these things that we fund, it would be, in my view, a reasonably simple process just to highlight it.
I suppose the caution I would have is, will we then get 12 people asking us, is this something I'm supposed to be at? You know, because if you think of 3 or 4 months down the track and we'll put these in diaries and elected members go, am I supposed to be at this one? Where's the carpooling? Where's the, so I just, I think they maybe leave it with us to figure out if there's a better way to do it rather than put it in diaries and there's an expectation that you all have to go.
Yeah, and I guess through you, Madam Chair, the other concern that I have in the back of my mind is what if dates change? And having correct information in the councillors' diaries when we might not necessarily, through the people that would be updating the diaries, get the update at the time. So I just want to work through the logistics to make sure if we're going to implement something, it's manageable, it's going to be correct, and we can actually do it and it's useful.
So sorry, but look, the event, sorry, I don't believe I get that. Where would I find that?
So that's on the Visit Rangitikei website?
I'd have to go in there specifically.
Yes, but we'll just go with
It's
this.
not,
That's the issue.
yeah.
We have sent it out.
Yeah, I'm sure we've sent it out with the comms update. It's on there to look out here for events, because I think this was raised before.
Yeah,
And
we'll send it
Sophia
out.
has put a link on there.
Okay.
So we might highlight that a bit more in terms of that as well.
But what I'm saying is that I'm not going to be going in each week to say, Yeah.
Coming up.
I mean, my Bible is my calendar. And from my perspective, it's way easier if it's there in there, and then I say, oh no, I don't need to do that this week for whatever reason.
More
But
than happy
anyway,
to look at it,
yeah.
just flagging that I'm not saying an instant yes today to make
Sure.
sure that
Yeah.
we implement a system that works.
Okay, so then we're up to recommendation 4, yeah. So, this basically refers to both the grants we've considered today, and we're talking about the recommendation in front of us is that the Community Grants Committee does or does not recommend to council that the remaining funds totaling from firstly the community initiative funds 25-26 be carried forward to 26-27. So the amount there for that one is 3717.70. So I'm happy to recommend that it does be carried forward.
Oh, could I just pause, Madam Chair?
Fine, Ian.
Did we want to do the events?
I have the events one as well,
Mm.
1,620. Oh, we haven't even moved.
We haven't moved
No.
that.
Oh, sorry, we went back up there and got it. Okay. Beg your pardon, jumping the gun. So first of all, I'm happy to recommend recommendation 2 is we've tallied up their total funds of 13,000. Is there a seconder, please?
Yes.
We shook the mayor. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Recommendation 3, that the event support scheme project report forms be received as you've read on Big Tin Can. Happy to move. Councillor Charlene to second. All those in favour? Carried. Then we go back to recommendation 4, that the monies from the Communities Initiative Fund be carried forward. I'm also happy to recommend that.
What was the total of that? Just going back.
$3,717.70. A seconder for that recommendation, and then any discussion? His worship, the mayor. Any thoughts on this? Any concerns? Councillor Wong?
I support it. I think we should, I believe we've had this discussion before that the amount that's promised to the community should be paid out in that year, but in a perfect world it would be. So if we carry it forward to the next year, I think we have lived up to our promise, but I think we need to reassess it every year, because if we're consistently not giving it all out or building up our funds, we probably need to reconsider our position at that stage. but as long as this is discussed and brought up every year, I'm quite happy that it is carried over to next year.
Thank you. As we should.
This tends to come up automatically as part of our annual plan, long-term plan processes, etc. And we, the events funding, we considerably cut it back. And there were questions in the past around, have we been too brutal? So it does get looked at.
Okay, so we'll put it to vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. So then we'll go to recommendation 4. So similar, I'm happy to move that the Community Grants Committee does recommend to council that the remaining funds of $1,620 from the event scheme 25-26 be carried forward to 26-27. Councillor Wong is happy to second. Any further discussion? Anything we want to add that we haven't brought up? No. We'll put it to the vote then. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried.
All done. Thank you.
Yeah.